Hello students, myself Dr. Niranjan Shah. Today I am going to explain about the various stages in bank audit. In last video we have discussed about the introduction of audit of banks. Thereafter we have already discussed the various silent features of enactments affecting bank. Students, as you know, bank audit is a quantitative analysis of the operations of the bank. It is a primary concern with the correct and honest record keeping according to the accounting principles and according to the statutory requirements. Students, we know that the basic purpose of audit is to identify or to rectify the errors as well as frauds. And the second purpose of audit is prevention of errors and frauds. Like this, bank audit is the most important audit because bank is a financial institution and the special act was governed for the banking business in India. Students, you know that the provisions of the various acts affecting the banking business. Some acts are there. First one is Banking Regulation Act 1949, Banking Companies Act 1970. There is a special act for State Bank of India Act 1955. Then Regional Rural Bank Act 1976 and the Cooperative Societies Act 1912 for cooperative banks. Also, you know that RBI has regulatory power to regulate the functions of all banks under its statute. The audit of bank is therefore a specialized task for the auditor. It requires the thorough knowledge of various enactments affecting banks and understanding the operations of the bank. Therefore, the auditor should consider important point while preparing the audit program. Every auditor must prepare or should be prepared the audit program before go through the audit. As in case of any other audit or any other business audit, company audit, institutions, hospital, trust audits, the auditor has to plan and proceeds in bank audit also. In particular, he may identify some important areas which may concern or which we can concern while preparing the audit program. These points are evaluation of internal control system, checking of loans and advances, checking and verification of other assets including fixed assets, checking of liabilities, scrutiny of profit and loss items, it means all incomes and all expenses items, and finally he should make and report about his opinion regarding the verification, regarding the vouching, regarding the keeping of records, correctness of the records, honesty of the records and fair view of the records, and submit it to the shareholders or to the central government and as well as the banking regulation as well as the Reserve Bank of India. To evaluate internal control system, the auditor can make auditing in depth in respect of certain transactions. Students, he may study the reports of internal auditor. It means that the auditor should know about the various areas of frauds and various areas of malfunctioning. For this purpose, he may study the report of internal auditor. Or he may inspect the report of internal inspector also. Checking of advances required much time and energy of auditor. So, the auditor should know the various important points while preparing the audit program. These are the important points while preparing the audit program. There are various stages in bank audit. First stage is related to the preliminary work. Second is evaluation of internal control system. Third is preparation of audit program, and fourth is related to the preparation and submission of audit report. Step 1, which is concerned with the preliminary work. In this work or in this step, auditor should know various concepts. The auditor should concerning with the various points. First one, appointment order, knowledge of banking business, knowledge of regulatory environment of the bank. He should familiar with the relevant provisions or applicable provisions of the Reserve Bank of India Act, Banking Regulation Act, Cooperative Society Act. The auditor should understand the various guidelines issued by the RBI for recording or for maintaining various types of reserves, that is cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. In this step, auditor should know or auditor should get knowledge about the economic environment of the bank. He should clearly understand the accounting system adopted by the bank. In this stage, the auditor properly understanding the terminologies used by the bank. Reporting practices and disclosure practices of the banks also known by the auditor. A general understanding of the books of accounts and keeping of records should be understood in this step or in this stage, which name is preliminary work. Before preparing audit program, he should know about the internal control system, and before this internal control system evaluation, he should know the various primary functions. The audit report of the branch auditor to be reviewed. Review of internal audit report, inspection report and concurrent audit report pertaining to the bank or various branches. This is the first step of the bank. First step of the bank audit. In second step, which name is evaluation of internal control system. It is the important element of audit process. It assumes even greater importance due to the enormous value of transactions. The internal control system should be adequate to prevent frauds and errors being committed. Therefore, the auditor should study and evaluate the design and operation of the internal controls. This could assist him in determining the nature, timing, and extent of checking. If the auditor is satisfied that the internal control system is effective, then the auditor can conduct an overall examination of the financial statements. The evaluation of internal control system can be done by the auditor with the help of questionnaire, manual organizational charts, flow charts, etc. The auditor should verify some important point. Whether the first important point is whether the staff of a bank should be shifted from one position to another position frequently or without prior notice. He should know that this function is regularly adopted by the bank or not. Secondly, he should know whether the work of the one person should always be checked by another person in normal case of business. He should know that the one person's work is to be checked by the another person. This system is adopted regularly by the bank. The third important point is he should know whether the arithmetical accuracy of the banks should be proved independently every day. Every day the bank has checked arithmetical accuracy or not. Whether all blank checks, demand drafts, its books, traveler's checks, etc. should be kept in the possession of an officer. And he should know about whether the powers of the officers of the different grades should be clearly defined or not. In this stage, the auditor should check accounting procedure, cash, clearing bills for collections, bills purchased, loans and advances, telegraphic transfer or demand draft, interbanking transactions, interbanking accounts, and NEFT, RTGS system, etc. In third state, which is related to the Preparation of audit program. After evaluation of internal control system, the auditor should prepare an audit program for substantive testing, which should cover the scope of his work. Due weightage should be given to areas whether there are weaknesses in internal control system. The audit program for central auditor would be different from that of the branch auditor. The central auditor have to deal with consolidation of the auditor and unaudited returns, investments and items normally dealt with at the head office. In this program, the auditor should ensure that the work is executed in accordance with the audit program by person having the requisite skill and competency. While preparing the audit program, there are various points to be considered. First one is related to the time frame. Second one is the human resource management. Third one is content to be checked. Fourth one is rules and regulations to be applicable or which is adopted by the bank, accounting system, computerized accounting softwares, etc. And finally, after the preparation of audit program, he should go through for the audit, for the checking, for the vouching, as well as verification of all assets, liabilities, incomes, as well as expenses. And after this, he should submit the report or he should make the report and submit it to the shareholders. This is the fourth step, which name is preparation and submission of audit report. The audit report is the end product of the audit program. It is through the medium of the audit report that the auditor convey his observation or convey his comments or opinion on the financial statements. The auditor should give his opinion about the correctness and honesty of the record keeping. The form and content of the audit report should be determined by the auditor by taking into account some important points. First one, terms of engagement, status applicable, regulatory requirements and professional requirements. These are the most important points which contained in audit report. Thank you.